Okay, so a lot of things to read. So let us read this quickly. So applications for the programs, okay, AIE, BIE, something have to appear for a CET. The test has three sections: physics, chemistry, and maths. So these are the three sections here. Among those appearing for CET, those at or above the 80th percentile in at least two sections, okay, and at or above 90th percentile overall are selected for AET. Wow, okay. So a lot of things here. So let me take some notes. I might forget. So there are three sections, this PCM. So this is about the CET exam or something. Now, those who get 80th percentile or more and overall 90th percentile or more. So these people, okay, at 80th percentile or more on at least two sections, not each section, at least two sections, and overall 90 percentile or more. These people would get selected for this AET. Great. So these get selected for AET. Okay, conducted by AIE. AET is used by AIE for final selection. Great. For the 200 candidates who are at or above 90th percentile overall based on the CET, so this is 200 who are at the following are known about the performance in CET. Okay. No one is below the 80th percentile. Okay, so Venn diagram. So I should be drawing the Venn first. So let me do that. Let me start with the circles. No one is below 80th percentile in all three sections. Should I draw the rectangle? Let me draw the rectangle. I have that practice, so let me keep that. So we have. So this is about those 200 candidates only. So the universal set is 200. Outside is 0, and let me mark these circles. So let's say P, C, and M. Okay, so now what we know is no one is below the 80th percentile. So I mark that 0 outside. uh, 150 are at or above the 80th percentile in exactly two sections. Okay, so this, and this. These three are adding to 150. So let me keep that as a separate note. So I'll put it like this: exactly two sections is 150. Okay. Next, the number of candidates at or above the 80th percentile only in P, 80th percentile only in P, is same as the number of candidates 80th percentile only in C, same in 80%. Okay, so these three are all equal. Whenever I solve a Venn diagram set, my main focus is always here. Now, directly, I'm not getting any information about this, not even from number four. Number four is talking about below the 80th percentile in P and something related to that in ratio for each section. So, but I know about this 150. So if these three add up to 150, then that leaves this, and this adding up to 50 because there's a total of 200 candidates and nothing is outside. So if I denote this, because these are all equal, so let me denote these by x's. So this value comes out to be 50 minus 3x, right? So let me write that a bit properly. I'll write this a bit smaller. 50 minus 3x. Okay. Uh, so this indicates me because each region has to be non-negative. So this 50 minus 3x has to be non-negative, right? So I'm not writing that. I hope you understood it. 50 minus 3x cannot be negative. So indirectly, we can say that 3x cannot be more than 50. So this 3x has to be less than or equal to 50, but x itself has to be an integer because that's also a region. So indirectly, what we can say is x has to be less than equal to 16. So this is sort of a range that we get from this part. Okay, so now let us look at the fourth information. So fourth information tells us that the number of candidates below the 80th percentile in P, the number of candidates below the 80th percentile in C, and the number of candidates. So these are all is twos. So their ratio, and the ratio is given. So number of candidates below the 80th percentile in P. So outside region is not something I have to worry about. So below 80th percentile in P is this part. Below 80th percentile in C is this part. So what I mean by that is below 80th percentile in P is this region. Below 80th percentile in C is this region, and below 80th percentile in M is this, and this region. So these three are in the so these sum of regions are in the ratio 4:2:1. So they are not equal. So let me, as of now, indicate this by uh, small p. Why would I confuse myself? So let us put A, B, and uh, D. So let us do that. Now, what I know is this not in P. So that is something like A plus 2x, not in C. So that is B plus 2x, and not in M. So this D plus 2x. These three are in the ratio 4:2:1. Okay. I had one relation related to something about this x being less than equal to 16. What I also know is this a plus b plus d is 150, because that is the exactly two regions. So how do I relate these two or these three information? Um, okay, so if I consider that this value is some 4k, this is some 2k, this is some 1k. What I know is if I add these three, I get this 150 because ABD is added once each. So 150 plus the 6x, because 2x from each of these parts. So 2x, 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 so that is 6x. And then you have ABD added, which is anyhow 150. So 150 plus 6x should be 7k. So this is telling me something. The thing that it tells me is great. So what I know is because this x is less than equal to 17, so this might not have too many possibilities. So let me break this down. So 150, what I'll do is 140 plus 7. So 147 is a multiple of 7. And from the 6x, I'll take out 7x. So I'm not worried about minus x. So these two are anyhow multiples of 7, right? The left out part is 3 minus x. This has to be equal to some 7k. So the 3 minus x, or in other words, x minus 3 has to be a multiple of 7. So if I go into that, so let me take a bit of part here. So if I consider this x minus 3, where should I write this? So let me write it here. So this x minus 3, this should be a multiple of 7. So what are the possibilities? One is x is equal to 3 and another is x is equal to 10. That's it, because x has to be less than equal to 16. So there are two possible Venn diagrams here. Wow. So let me do that. But before I go into this, let me check the rest of the information, because there was some more information here. So it says BIE uses a different process for selection. If any candidate is appearing in the AET by AIE, then BIE consider their AAT score for the final selection, provided the candidate is at or above the 80th percentile in P. Okay. So BIE considers their AAT score for the final selection, provided the candidate is at or above 80th percentile in P. So the candidate has to be 80th percentile at or above P, at or above 80th percentile in P, that is. Any other candidate at or above 80th percentile in CET, but who is not eligible for AAT, is required to appear in a separate test to be conducted by BIE for being considered for the final selection. Okay. So what we know is Okay, one thing, it doesn't say anything about the overall percentile. So I know that there is only thing that is in concern out here is the 80th percentile in P. So if you have scored a 80th percentile in P, then you will be considered in the final selection. But in case you are not eligible for AAT, now you may get a 80th percentile and above in the physics and not be eligible for AAT in two scenarios. Not one scenario, and actually two scenarios. One scenario will be if you don't get an overall percentile of 90 and above, then you're not eligible for AAT. This is part of the eligibility criteria. Or it could be that you are only getting 80th percentile. You are above 90th percentile. You do fall in this category. So that is in these 200 students. You are part of that. But you have scored only 80th percentile in physics. So that is this part. So this part and the ones who are getting less than 90 percentile in physics, I'm sorry, overall, but 80th percentile and more in physics. That is too much to take in. Okay, let me write this down. Maybe this will be crucial. P greater than equal to 80 percentile. So this is the main criteria. Out of which there will be three types actually. One type will be selected for AET. So AET they are selected. So we'll figure this out later on. One type will be not. I mean, both of these types are not who get. I mean, not the ones who get selected in AET. But out of them also, there will be one category who are getting 90th percentile. So let's say out of these 200. So out of the 200, so let me put in that way so I can later on understand that myself. But only in P. So if you are only in P, then also you don't get selected for AET, right? You get an overall 90 percentile, but you fail this criteria, so you don't get selected for AET. But you will be considered for that written test, right? So whatever they talked about. Okay, and the apart from that is simple. So you get an overall less than 90 percentile. So in that case, you do not fall in the 200 case. So both this as well as this fall in the 200 category. But these are the ones who get 80th percentile or more in physics alone. So they do not get selected for AET, but they will be considered for that written test that they talked about. And so AET part, those who are getting selected are anyhow getting selected, right? So they don't have to appear for the written test. So the written test will be for these two categories, for this one and this one. So these two will fall for that separate test. So let me write BIE here. So this BIE test or something. Wow. Okay. So now finally it says altogether there are 400 candidates this year who are at or above 80th percentage. So this part in total is 400 students. So this is all the information that we have. But yeah, we have to take the two cases and draw the Venn diagram. Let's do that now. Okay, so coming to the Venn diagrams actually. So there are two Venn diagrams that I need to draw. So let me do that. After I do that, I'll take these additional information off. I hope that was understood by all of you who are watching this solution, because I cannot manage to keep all of this on screen while I'm explaining. So that is the reason I have to take it off. Now, the two Venn diagrams that I'm drawing here are essentially one for the x equal to 3 and one for x equal to 10. So these two cases, these will define the Venn diagram accordingly. So I'll just show you what will be the right approach to do that. So let me first get a parity here. So let me get back to the solving mode now. Okay. So we have 200 students for each of them. And now, so we have a couple of possibilities. One is X3 and X10. So let me quickly fill this up. So this can be done very quickly. And we also know in either cases, the center region, the all three region is 50 minus 3x. So in this case, 50 minus 9, so that is 41. And this is 50 minus 30, so that is what, 20. Just 1 second, sorry. So this is 20, yeah. Now, outside region is 0. I don't, okay, I'll write it down. Now coming to this 4 is to 2 is to 1. Now, if this x is 3, so let me use this part here. Let me use another color. So let me just use this situation to get the value of k accordingly. So first, if I put x equal to 3. So if I put x equal to 3, let me take this out, x equal to 10 as of now. So if I put x equal to 3, this is 18. 150 plus 18 is 168. And 168 divided by 7, that is k is equal to what? 24. So this is one situation. And if I put x equal to 10, so that is the second case. So k in that case comes out to be, so this is again x equal to 10 here. So that is 60. 150 plus 60 is a simple calculation. 210 by 7, so that is 30. So k is equal to 30. So now looking at these things. So first of all, let us hit this d plus 2x, that is a low end number. So d plus 2x is simply k, right? So d plus 2x is 24. So let me also do this. Let me write these two informations accordingly. So this E2 150 is not required anymore. So we have x equal to 3 and k is equal to 24 in this case. And we can take this off as well. That analysis is done. So this is the second case, right? X equal to 10 and k equal to 30. So let's work it out accordingly. So when x is 3, this d plus 2x. So basically d is which one? D is this one, right? Let's refer to this original Venn diagram also to get the reference point. So this total. So basically these three regions should be adding up to what? K equal to 24. So this is k, right? So this three regions should be adding up to 24. This and this is 6. So that takes up or rather leaves 18 for this case. This b plus 2x is 2k. So that is 48. So if that is 48, b plus 2x is these three regions. So this, and this adds up to 48. Couple of this are 6. So this should be 42. Now we can use that 150 information because this region, and this region adds up to 150. So this is 18, 42 is 60. So that leaves 90 for here. So that is known to us. Great. And for this case, if k is 30, that is very simple. So remember again, always refer back whenever I'm writing this, refer back to find this d. Any which way, if when I was solving this in CAT, so I would have, always referred back to this original diagram. So that is d. I need to get that reference point right. So d is coming out to be how much? So this part d plus 2x is 30 in this case. K is 30. So both of these are 10, 10. So that leaves 10 here. Again, b plus 2x. So b is this part. So this b plus 2x, that is 2k. So that is 60. So 10, 10 is 20. So that leaves 40 here. Now this is 10, this is 40. Though that's add up to 50. Though this 10 and this 40 is what I'm referring to. 50, and this makes it, this leaves 100 here. So 150 exactly to region. So these are the two Venn diagrams that we're dealing with. I'm going to take this part of the analysis part off now. And I'm just going to keep the Venn diagram with these information that might be required to solve the questions. So let's get into that now. Okay, so finally we are into the questions. So question number 9 first. What best can be concluded about the number of candidates sitting for the separate test for BIE who were at or above the 90th percentile overall in CET? So remember this chart that we drew? So among the candidates who actually got the 90th percentile overall, there were these two categories who sit for the BIE test, the ones we have circled earlier, right? These two categories. Now, out of that, these are the ones who are getting less than 90 percentile. So among the ones who get 90 percentile overall, only the ones who are getting 80th percentile and above only P. So the ones who fall in the only P region, they are the ones who have to sit for the BIE test. So that is either 3 or 10 in our diagram. So that is the first option. So option A is the answer here. Question 10 asks, if the number of candidates who are at or above the 90th percentile overall and also at or above 80th percentile in all three sections, so that is the center region, because whenever it says at or above 90th percentile overall, it's referring to either of these two Venn diagrams, and also at or above the 80th percentile in all three sections, in CET is actually a multiple of 5. So that is this case, right? The second one is 41 is not a multiple of 5, 20 is. So actually a multiple of 5. Then what is the number of candidates who are at or above the 90th percentile overall and at or above the 80th percentile in both P and M in the CET? So in the second case, we are looking for the overlap of P and M. So overlap of P and M is this entire part. So that is 60. Okay. So this is for this question. Now 11th. If the number of candidates who are at or above the 90th percentile overall and also at or above the 80th percentile in all sections is actually a multiple of 5. So the same case. I forgot to take out this tick, but anyhow, luckily that is the one. I hope that was not a distraction. So yeah, so this second case itself. Then how many candidates were shortlisted for AET? So remember, the shortlisting criteria is, first of all, you have to fall in this 200 candidates. You have to fall in this Venn diagram. But not only that, you should not be part of only P, only C, or only M. So we can simply ignore these three values. So that is 10, 10, 10, 30. So all the remaining 170 candidates should have qualified for the AET for conducted by AIE. So 170 is that answer. So this answer is 170, 200 minus 30, or you could add all these numbers anyhow. The same thing. So let me now take off this tick. Okay, let's get into the next one. If the number of candidates who are at or above the 90th percentile overall and also are at or above the 80th percentile in P is more than 100. Okay, so the P circle. So if the P circle has to be more than 100, so the rest of it outside the P circle has to be less than 100, right? Now, what I notice is if you check the second case, these three are outside P circle, out of which this is already 100. So that cannot be the case. But here, outside the P circle, we are finding 93 and 396. So that definitely means that P has to be more than 100, right? I did not mention this, but then I'm also considering the fact that the total students and at or above 90th percentile is 200, right? So 200 is the total student strength. So this part, obviously, 100 and more is taken out. So that cannot be the case. So we are talking about the first case in this situation. So in the first case, what are we looking for? How many candidates had to sit for the separate BIE test? Okay, so this is interesting. So we know that 400 qualified or got secured more than 80 percentile in the physics department, out of which there are some who are qualifying for AAT directly. We should not consider them. They are not part of the BIE. So we can just take that part off. So who are qualifying for this AET test? So for the first case, that is what we have to consider. This number, and this number of students. So this 18, 42, and 41. So 18 plus 42 is 60, and 41 is 101. So this 101 candidates are basically the ones who do not have to sit for the separate test. They will get a direct qualification. Something was there, right? I don't remember also, but this is what the premise said. So 101 we should not be considering out of the 400. So just take that off, and we have what, 299. So the answer for this question is option A again. So that is this particular set. So now let me just conclude here. So I hope you had fun watching me, be a soldier in solving this. Fight for this particular set. It is a set like that. It's a very, very calculative one. I'm very, very good with. You have to be very, very good with analysis and stuff. you have to understand those multiple ideas. So that 6x plus 150 is equal to 7k. How to utilize that information? How to club those informations together? How to utilize the ratio idea with that 150 information? And also that the small thing that I noticed initially, that 50 minus 3x. Those basic ideas did help me to a certain extent, but still, I mean, this set I would definitely mark it as an intense level of difficulty, purely from the fact that number one, I mean, there are two reasons to it. Number one, it is very calculative in nature. You have to, I mean, the very rarely you find sets in CAT which will, you know, uh, enable you to, or force you to draw two Venn diagrams as a solution. So I had limited space to show to you at one time. So that is why I had to take out my working just to keep bring in the questions and finally mark the answers. The only good thing about the set was that in the question itself, you have to, in the question, there were no more twists and turns. I mean, once you have solved it, then you can straight away mark the answers. But yeah, coming back to the difficulty level. So one, definitely it was very calculative in nature, and definitely I would say it's very analytical in nature. I mean, what I mean by that is analytical in terms of number distribution. So you have to be good with you know distributing numbers and how they interact. Those kind of ideas should be very clear to you, and also of course the Venn diagram ideas. I mean, I hope you found that in even during the last bit of calculations that I did for each and every question, I was trying to, I was directly identifying the optimum way to figure it out. And these kind of things comes very naturally to me because I have a lot of understanding related to the basics here. So I hope you do those correctly. So whichever type of set you face, not necessarily something as calculative as this, but whichever set you face, at least you have an idea of how to find the answers actually that is asked. In the questions, they them you can find very quickly. So so this is about this set. So definitely my recommendation here for this particular set would be never to attempt in the first go, or the first round, let's put it in that way. So um, how do I identify that? Because a little bit of analysis. So this is something we talk about in our classes also. You don't figure something like this out until and unless you have analyzed it a bit. While I was analyzing it, I hope you figured it out. You can rewind the video and watch that part. So you can just listen to me thinking about what are the possibilities. So there are a lot of possibilities that we're dealing with, and still we are down to two cases. So even if you're, let's say, dedicated something around 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and even after that you leave it, it's still fair enough, I believe, for a set like this. Because when I write the ideal time to solve the set, that should be clear to you. So this will be the ideal time for this, I would say, definitely not less than 12 minutes. So I don't know what that upper bound goes to, but then if you have to solve it, you have to be, in the range of 12 to 13 minutes or something, but it will take some time to do. So typically, you should not attempt a set like this in CAT. So this is one very calculative set that we had in the first lot for 2017. So I hope the analysis part and those things were understood. Do not ignore that, because that might be helpful in some other situations. So I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you.